Welcome to Tales from SYL Ranch Live, where everyone is entitled to my opinion, and I'm Bill Stone. Well, tonight it is yet another live Bat Stream watch party and reaction to the last episode of this season, yeehaw, of Batwoman, which is the modern-day Plan 9 from outer space. Batwoman is a series being written, directed, and produced by people who are doing their level damn best. Unfortunately, they're incompetent, so their level damn best is really, really bad. It's just like Plan 9 from outer space. They think they're making art here. The problem is that being so bad that it's basically so bad that it's good now makes reviewing things painful. Hey, Marshall, how's it going? Ordinarily, with my reviews, I go into a lot of depth, way more depth than you'll see in any other reviewer. And it takes me a couple of hours to research this stuff. I just don't see the point in doing that on an ongoing basis for something that's basically so stupid every single week. So I am doing these live Bat Stream watch parties where I enjoy myself. I think my viewers probably have as well. And as it is a live Bat Stream watch party, I will be talking about the stupid as we go along. You are all encouraged to throw out any of your own comments, and I will share those as we go along. And after the episode, I can have a regular sort of Q&A, talk to you about anything. I will tell you that I'm going to have a little to say, not a ton, but a little to say about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the new Captain Pike adventure. Yeehaw. So we'll see how that goes. I have a little to say about that. Marshall says, yeah, bite the bat. Hey, we're going to have cake tonight. So, to explain my show for the benefit of my non-regular viewers like Marshall, Tales from SYL Ranch is a science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic book, and other sort of genre-related review and commentary show. Sometimes I talk about serious films and TV. Sometimes I talk about schlock. Sometimes I talk about modern films with a broad appeal, like Star Wars movies, Marvel movies, the Orville, Doctor Who, and of course, lately, most of this season, God, I guess it's the entire season, I mean, I've watched it and reviewed it or done something with it in some way. Batwoman, the modern-day Plan 9 from outer space. There will be cake, yes. Hey, hi, Taname, how's it going? Hey, have fun with those beef ribs. God, I wish I could eat them. And the immortal words of Wilford Brimley, I got the diabetes. Have a sec here. I'm trying to get my... Okay. Well, let me reload you. Spectrum, its web interface is being wonky with me. I might have to watch it on my phone. Oh, Lord. There it goes. Okay. So, most of my reviews these days are pre-recorded, but for special occasions such as this, I will do a live stream. And during live streams, I will answer any and take any and all questions, comments, and nasty remarks. I will respond to you as many as I possibly can. You can tell me if I missed something, if I'm completely full of crap, or if I'm just an amazingly hoopy fruit, which is much more likely. As I mentioned, with my reviews, I go into a lot more depth than any other reviewer on YouTube. I just don't say if I like the film or not. I go into the acting, the direction, the cinematography, and the mechanics of making the film. And I can do this because a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I was once an actor, so I can speak with a modicum of authority. Not as much authority as a modern working actor. I never want to give that impression, but with some authority. There is an old saying, of course, those who can do, and those who can't teach. And the way that I situate things and the fact that I was a teacher for a while, I suspect my reviews kind of come off like teaching. One thing I don't do is outrage reviews. There are a lot of reviewers out there who are simply portraying outrage because they found out after The Last Jedi that outrage sells. They knee-jerk hate everything with a passion just because their viewers want to see them hate things. But this sets up a weird feedback loop between fans and popular reviewers where it's just nothing but detesting everything back and forth till eventually nobody can enjoy anything, even if it's any good. But I don't do that. If I like something, I'll say why. If I don't, I'll say why in detail. But I don't do outrage. Unlike other reviewers, I sort of occupy the, adult space in this particular room. Yeah, Marshall says, those who can't teach administrate. I couldn't administrate to save my life, I'm sure of that. I tried it a couple of times, and I was terrible at it. I don't handle any level of politics at the workplace well at all. I don't get most of it. It seems really petty most of the time. And when you're administrating, you got to deal with that all the freaking time. Let's see. Looks like I got about 10 minutes till the episode starts. This will be interesting because I suppose due to COVID, they had to shorten the season by 3 episodes, so we don't have to kill ourselves watching this every week. I am going to start watching. What am I saying? Stargirl, but I don't know whether I'm going to start off doing reviews with that or maybe keep this because that's like next week sometime, I think, is when that starts. So I might keep this going there. I'm not sure. I'm going to think about it before it comes up. But we will take it as read that if you came to this video looking for a watch party and a reaction and sort of a review of Batwoman Season 1, Episode 10, and I've got the wrong lower third on. Hang loose for a second. I'm going to change my lower third because that's the wrong one. I was making all kinds of cards today with just a stupid passion, and I apparently didn't quite get them right. Because tonight's episode is Oh Mouse. It is not that other one. That other one was horrifying last week. Expanse. Yes, when the 4th season of that comes back, I will start doing those. I am now completely up on those. I was not all that thrilled with the 3rd season, to be honest, but I'm still interested in it. I'll talk about that a little bit after the things over here, just so that I can talk a little bit about what I think about Expanse so far, just in general, but yeah. Anyway, if you hear it all, looking for what it says on the tin, then you probably don't care if anything is spoiler reviewed as we go along, but just for safety's sake, for those of you watching on demand, I will issue a...
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. All hands, prepare for incoming spoilers.
Yes, this is a spoiler alert, and that is because I am a Fandi master, and that means that that the fandom is strong with me. And this is neither a boast nor brag. This is just where you find yourself after having watched, read, and listened to over 100 years worth of science fiction. But the problem with Fandi masters is that we are cursed. You just can't see all this new stuff without seeing the entire century that came before, and you discover that very little is original, and it sometimes interferes with your ability to enjoy things. But you sure don't have to be a Fandi master to know that Batwoman is nothing more than stupid SJW wokeness on steroids. You might as well just laugh at it, which is what, of course, these streams are for, is to laugh at them. Okay, so yeah, about looks like about 7 minutes-ish, thereabouts. Let me make sure I've got my volume kicked way the hell up. Oh, and I forgot. All right, this leaks off enough onto my audio that I can have it on, while at the same time they don't get dinged for it because the audio is too low. So, but I did forget. I gotta put my picture mode into user, which kills the brightness and the contrast brightness way the hell up, so that I can have some statistical possibility, at least, of seeing what the action really seems to work well. I wasn't doing that at the beginning, and because the show is shot so dark, you just kind of going, okay, yeah. I mean, I know I need glasses. I know I have to have my bifocals. I get that, but I still can't see what the hell's going on the screen. Kicking the brightness up by about 25% gives you some chance of being able to see it, even if you have glasses or not. So they're really, really, really dark. Last week, I could really see it. I think maybe for the first time they figured out how, wait a minute, this is really dark. Nobody could see what the hell's going on here, and so they changed it. I don't know, but something happened. Either it was just that I got the brightness exactly right or something. I don't know which. Let me move some of my windows around so that I can put the TV show so that it's more or less behind the camera so I can watch it and still be apparently looking at my audience, which is always a useful thing to be doing. All right, now I can watch this stupid show at a high volume. Again, I always caution people: watch this. Don't watch what's going on in front of on this show, or any other show that's like this, reality TV, or even something like this where they've got a staged event going on. Right? Don't watch what's going on in the foreground. Don't watch the athlete. Watch what's going on in the background. And if you do that, what you'll see, for example, is when they get to where they get this cheering crowd right there, they just did it, a cheering crowd. Notice that you're only seeing about 5 rows, and they're all standing. Well, if you get a chance to see it from a distance, it's because the bleachers they've got them on aren't that very big. I mean, I think there's, maybe a row and a half for family and friends of who these people are that are at the trying to become the America's ninja warrior. But if you watch it, I mean, they've actually got a fairly small area. It looks bigger on television, and they shoot that bleacher area very carefully, so that they will make sure that there's always somebody in the background up there. Otherwise, it looks empty. So, but just watch stuff like that, because it's a kick to see, if you're looking for it, how much of it. As my old acting guru, the late, great Dr. William Morgan once said, theater is planned, rehearsed spontaneity. And the way that they do this show is very planned and rehearsed in many ways, even though it doesn't look like it. But it has to be to some extent. Somebody's holding the camera, somebody's doing the editing. So it's to some extent planned. See if I can mute myself for a second. Okay. Had another frog in my throat. So what are we looking at? A viewer. Marshall, you're a viewer. Move some of this stuff around again. It's just useful for me to be able to move it. I can see what I need to see a little easier. Too many windows on the 42-inch. So. Oh, man. Who is this?
With as much as we rely on our cars, we're keeping them longer than ever, which also means...
You're the viewer, Marshall. Yes, you are. Do not besmirch your viewer precedence. Well, I know I have at least 2 or 3 coming back in a minute, but yeah, you are the viewer. No, you're not. There's someone else here. It says on the control panel, it often lies to me.
And remember, auto insurance only covers you when you're in an accident. It doesn't pay for the repair costs when your car breaks down. That can cost you thousands.
All right, looking like about 2 minutes out-ish. For those of you who are watching this a little delayed, because I'm not sure if mine is, or some of you watching this on demand, I will probably count it down. Let me put this on mute. I'll probably count it down because they always do the same thing right before they go to the episode. You'll have a local station identification followed by a national station identification, and then the episode will start. So I will count them off as we go so that you can match up your copy of Batwoman to my discussion and my viewers having fun. So. Lying liar that lies, Marshall says. YouTube is operating normally. I didn't say it wasn't operating normally. I just said it oftentimes didn't tell me the truth. That's a design feature, is that is. Though it was funny. Let's see how much time here. Oh, less than a minute. All right. Well, I won't say what I was going to say. I'll save that for later. And it looks like it's hit the minute mark, which means now we're seeing, I think in my case, local commercials. YouTube lies more than Kate Kane. Well, actually, YouTube is probably worse than KK. Here's that commercial for
New series this Tuesday at 8/7 Central
Tuesday.
on CW.
I'll probably start move these to Tuesdays. I'm not sure. Okay, local station ID, national station ID, and on my mark, the episode mark.
On that one. Tommy said this book holds the key to killing Batwoman, and I want her very, very dead.
Lucius Fox wrote the entire journal.
Very, very dead. I just think.
You did it! You know what it says? Quietly happy.
Oh, and yeah, and last week the way they got the stupid code.
Killing you. These are Lucius Fox's glasses. They unlock the code. Let Luke and Julia go.
Well, look at Julie go. Again, this woman cannot drop her jaw and enunciate. She's just. I mean, just to compare how they talk. What? Who? What? Are we having a crossover?
Why do you have that?
Yeah.
He lost hope.
I see. This is from when she got kryptonite. Why does she need the kryptonite now? Are we having a crossover? Maybe we are. She's supposed to be going after all of these people have gotten out.
It's war.
War. I see you again. It's war. Neon lips on that one. Yeah, yeah. So she's got her kryptonite, and apparently is going to need it. What sort of Kryptonian was wandering around Gotham, I wonder? Oh, man. Passengers, my subtitles are saying passengers scream and whatnot, and you still can't hear the passengers screaming very much over the top of the audio that goes with this. So wait, the crows are now policing the the elevated train. What? Who? What? How many of them are there? And why is he on this particular elevated train? Wow, they have situational awareness. This is not in our timeline. Yeah. Wait, so it's Kate and her father? Okay, how did they happen to be on the same train, I wonder?
Well, I told you to stay in the car.
Who the hell was that?
I have no idea.
When I see these, I told you to stay in the car.
Arkham escapee and college football command.
She's like talking to a child.
Since apparently the Crow's commander couldn't take down this.
Oh, God, now it's Rachel Maddow. Just voices like fingers on a chalk nail. And they're whining about how Jacob Kane couldn't take down some guy. Again, I have the Crows completely supplanted Gotham City Police Department.
The crows have an app now.
It's so weird.
My light. It's hard enough to see out of Lucius Fox's glasses.
You just push the button and the ants come marching in. Anyone with a phone can use it, client or not, which means anyone with a phone can turn us over with the click of a screen. We gotta get out of Gotham, Alice. Because bats eat rats, Alice. And that's what we are down here. We're rats living among
Jeez.
rats. You promised me that we would start a new life together. Let's we can't do that if the crows find us and kill us.
Yeah, okay, wait a minute. That's another one that really bugs me all the time. Are the crows authorized with, like, a license to kill? You know,
Wonderland? Or do you wish your house to be full and complete and happy?
You know that's what I want.
Impatience. Until I can figure out where to find this rock that penetrates the batsuit. The hiding spot Lucius folks forgot to mention in his journal.
why does everybody want to know this so bad? You want to kill Batwoman? I'll tell you how you kill Batwoman. Shoot her here. Shoot her right anywhere in this area, you know? I'm pretty sure that that's a good spot. And it's nice and bright, especially with her lipstick. You can see it easily.
You know how to kill your sister, Batwoman. I'm not about to spend the rest of my life looking like the bastard that couldn't get the rods in the nuclear reactor in time. Give me a face I can wear.
That's good. Shoot her dead. That'll get you your face, you stupid idiot.
It's quite all right now. I can take a note.
Wait, what? No. You can't actually be listening to him.
I owe him a face, which means I'll need to go to the university morgue for better materials.
Oh, good.
Apples, you know the drill.
She's going to make a butt mask for him. Wonderful. I don't know why they brought Hush into this. That storyline wasn't very good to start with, but...
Why was this in a puddle in the back cave?
Hey, Larry, how you doing tonight?
Bruce was holding on to it for a friend.
Let me guess. Tights, cape, big S on his chest.
How do you know that?
Lucky guess.
Well, why else would he have any kryptonite? Who else would he be?
Alice knows this can penetrate the batsuit, along with whatever else my dad wrote about it in his journal.
The script, it burns. Yes, very much.
You melted down Bruce's railgun, and once I figure out how to destroy this, Batwoman is as good as invincible.
Why do they care so much? Why do they freaking care so much?
Nope.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Hey, I thought we were bad huddling over this Titan Tesla psycho.
Bad huddling isn't a thing, and I'm off to destroy an alien mineral.
Just another day on the Batsuit? Pretty much. So,
Wait,
Tim the Titan Tesla obviously...
the alien mineral can hurt Batwoman?
Remind me again. He was pretty much the Goliath's best
Okay.
tight end of all time. A TD every game, over 100 catches and 1,000 yards every season.
Let's not assume I know what any of this was means.
Let's assume that you two are very, very boring on screen together.
And brutal, as in gladiator-esque. Turns out there's a not-so-secret secret to all of his success. Say it with me. Steroids.
Sexy cheerleaders.
Point being, it all came to a head during a playoff game against the Cougars.
Okay.
Titan didn't
Marshall, unless they plan on introducing Superman or Supergirl. Well,
finishing move against the official.
Batwoman and Supergirl now occur in the same universe as of Crisis on Infinite Earths. That makes Superman also in this universe. And yes, in fact, they are going to have a new series with Superman starting, I've forgotten what the date was, 2021 sometime, I think.
All of the Goliaths to running back? You seriously need to get out of that bat cave.
I seriously need to suit up and talk to this brother.
I seriously think most of the time you don't spend any time crime fighting except when it happens to suit your own selfish ends.
Said that before
Continuity at Burns, Marshall said,
If
yeah.
we ever saw Batwoman again, it'd be war. I feel like Gotham's got enough Greek tragedy happening at the moment.
You don't know my dad like I do.
Greek tragedy? What does she mean by Greek tragedy?
Not what I
When
meant.
you think of that, you think of, you know, like edible complex and stuff like that. I'm not sure that
Like
that's
when
happening.
teenage Kate wanted a Crow's SUV, he said no, you took one anyway, and he had you arrested. Or when he said no parties in the
How long have the crows been around? She just talked about the crow stealing a crow car when they were like teenagers or something. I'm confused about how long crows have been around. I don't get it. It's all Greek to her. Yeah, sadly, Marshall, yes. Batwoman is a tragedy, Larry. Larry says, yes, that's sure. Yeah, okay. She's getting meta there, telling us how everything's terrible.
Maybe one day I can complain about who Batman really is.
Why would you ever come clean about that? I mean, oh, thank God. I don't usually say thank God to all the immense amounts of commercials because there are tons, but, sometimes I want to actually have something to say about this guy. Okay. Why does kryptonite have anything to do with Batwoman? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. And I think last week or the week before somebody asked me about a new Superman series, and yeah, there's going to be a new Superman series called Superman and Lois. Now, they've got a kid in this universe, so I assume that that's what the show is going to be following, but I don't know. As far as continuity goes, Marshall, they do basically like they tend to do in the Marvel Universe. They take some stuff and make it bigger, some stuff and make it smaller, some stuff to make it a little more realistic, and so they're doing that here too. But all of these Arrowverse shows now exist in the same universe and have had in the past, unknowns to anybody because they can't remember it. It never happened to them, crossovers and stuff like that. So she has it in her tea, of course. Yeah. Lois will wear the pants in the family. I think you're probably right, Larry. I think they will use it as an excuse to, be a little misandrist. I think that's certainly a possibility. I get that for the, longest time, women were confined to certain roles by virtue of both law and custom. So you want to get out of that. That's cool. I have no problem with that. But what's happened is they've started doing essentially misandry, hatred of men. In place of that, we've started to move away from it pretty good, to be honest. I've had conversations with females in my field, IT, that talk about what it was like to have that, be a woman trying to get along in the 70s and early 80s. That was hard. We've largely gotten away from that. Like it or not, guys, we've largely gotten away from it. Darn, didn't know where I was going. That's the problem with being live and having no script. I just had a very massive train wreck, and I don't remember what it is. Oh, well. But, so anyway, what's turned into stuff like that is just misandry. And when you talk about Lois wearing the pants in the family, I'm sure there will be jokes at Clark/Superman's expense, in terms of his being a male and stuff like that. I'm sure there will be. That's just dumb. Just dumb. Oh, we got a Subaru commercial. No, wait, we got a... Oh, Subaru. Subaru. Okay. Whatever. Actually, this, if they do this, I'm watching this commercial for Stargirl. If they do that right, it could be good. I don't know that they'll do it right, however. They so far haven't done much of anything consistently right. And back to Batwoman. Larry says, Lois was a good reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. I think, yes. She was a strong character from nearly the beginning, and I don't think there's any problem with having it that way, but you don't have to, make jokes about men based on their gender, just to make that happen.
For a man who plays with rocks all day, this must be very exciting, but it doesn't have to be. I am looking for a little green nugget called kryptonite.
Kryptonite? You mean kaolinite?
Do I? Or do I mean kryptonite?
Maybe kimberlite? Or kyanite? Or, charolite?
The head of the geology department and dumb ass. Professor Dark, your name was written beside it in a journal. Clues green, cuts through anything.
A mineral with a natural green luminescence and strong covalent bonds with that kind of cutting power. Actually, I did analyze something with those properties once. It wasn't called kryptonite. It was some kind of rare meteor rock.
There you go.
Larry says it even sounds like a soap opera. Yeah, it really does. The nature of these shows, they make them into soap operas with a little bit of action, unfortunately.
It just says Lucius Fox, Wayne Enterprises, Gotham City.
What do you suppose I do? Just waltz into Wayne and ask for it nicely?
Yeah, she's going to kill somebody else now. And see, okay, she went to the head of this geology department at some place in Gotham City, in some university. How much kryptonite is there on the planet? You know, how many things does this, I mean, how many people have touched or even thought about kryptonite? Yeah, kill the mosquito. Yeah.
Still hasn't checked in since you looked 10 seconds ago.
Sorry if the idea of my dad killing my sister is somewhat of a concern to me.
But the suit is bulletproof. Sorry.
Oh, man.
I think she knows what she's doing, which can be worse than most people not knowing what they're doing.
Here we have just ground this thing to a halt as usual to do. Well, at least there's something marginally interesting going on, but we're mostly just talking. I mean, she just gave out a bunch of exposition that we already know if we've been watching the show.
Crushing it?
With what, a hammer?
I said I was nervous.
Sorry about that. My mother wandered down and wanted something. Don't know if she was visible in on the green screen or not. So.
This is about season tickets. I can't help you. This is about my brother. I can't help you.
I guess my question is, are you helping him? You're the only family he has left.
See,
I don't think he sees it that way.
you gotta tell me if you can understand her. She just, well, it's just always so close when she talks. It's basically just her lips, and I can't understand anything.
He wanted to
Murdered on the field.
so much that he's willing to have his soul beaten out of him.
His soul beaten out of him. Okay.
Every hit to the head. You know, he used to walk the neighborhood kids to the bus to make sure they were safe.
See, he has no problem opening his mouth.
Turned him into a monster.
Then help me make sure he doesn't die one. Make sure he gets the help he needs. Tell me where to find him.
I missed what game they're talking about. Football?
You betrayed me.
This is the part where you run.
My God, they've actually shot this in some level of daylight. Look at that. Maybe last week was just because they heard me bitching and decided that they needed to shoot in daylight. I can see what's going on here. Stab her in the face. Stab her in the face. Okay. Wait. Is that a machete? He just threw a machete, like...
Not this one. Yours.
Oh, I see. He, like, severed his spine or something. Okay. Well, who knows? He could be up and walking in a few weeks the way that this show treats medical science. Another commercial. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, boy. So, okay. They've got this piece of kryptonite that can lay out Batwoman for reasons. They can't seem to destroy it. Here is my thought. You put it inside a nice concrete block, something like this, right? A block. And then you chisel out a hole in the bat cave, make it nice and deep, drop the thing in, close up the hole, and maybe put, transplant a stalagmite from it or something like that, so that, it looks like the real part of the cave, and then boom, no one will ever find this thing. Believe me, no one will ever find it. But apparently there's a second one that Lucius had laying around. Okay, so the second one was supposed to be used with Superman, I think. He was holding on to that for Batman so that he gave Superman. What is this? What is her suit made of if it needs kryptonite to get through it? I mean, the last time that we saw this, it was basically a high-powered railgun. I mean, it just shot stuff through her. But we know that'll work, right? There's a number of people who know that'll work. Reverse engineering that shouldn't be too horrifying. So, why is kryptonite an issue? Why do they need the kryptonite in the first place? Why is her suit vulnerable to kryptonite in the first place? And again, if they're at least one piece, if they think they're going to have a problem disposing of it, put it in a big concrete block, let it dry, put it into a hole in the bat cave, and fill it over and never look at it again. But I'm trying to figure out why they need kryptonite. I mean, railguns are not that complicated in theory. It's usually just a question of power. That could be replicated a lot easier than finding a chunk of kryptonite. Larry says, kryptonite is from Krypton Superman's home. Nothing to do with Batwoman. Right, which is why I can't understand why they would need this for her. Needing it if Supergirl went nuts, or needing it if Superman went nuts, sure. But why do you need this for the bat suit? I don't understand. I guess they have to give her some weaknesses. I guess, because she's perfect and practically perfect in every way. So maybe they just have to give her some weaknesses by saying, "Oh, I got it. Kryptonite. Yeah, that'll work. Kryptonite." Oh God, it's the 22 mark. There have been 2 sets of commercials already. Amazing. Well, let's think about it for a while. There must be an SJW reason why they need kryptonite. Always remember, this is a crappy show being written by SJWs doing their level damn best, and so it comes out as crap. But what SJW reason could there be for Supergirl, for Batwoman to be vulnerable to kryptonite? What reason would there be that would be SJW? Let's see. Oh gosh, it's got to be gay. It's got to be gay too. Something having to do with being gay. Looks like the show's back, maybe? Can't tell. Nope, it's just another commercial. For the end begins, or something. Wednesday. The final season. 100. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The reason that she... Oh, look, it looks like they've come back. Okay.
The Titan Tesla, and this time the victim was his own brother. Star running back.
Dun, dun, dun. See, there's a GCBD car back there. What are they doing? And they have some, like the cops are just standing around their cars and it's doing.
First place, we got one man dead, and one of Gotham's most promising athletes cut down in his prime.
So you don't see Batwoman's efforts to stop Titan as helpful?
I see Batwoman like I see every vigilante. A threat to the good people of this city. The Crows and the GCPD will bring her.
You guys are this close from being vigilantes yourselves. If that ain't the pot calling the kettle black.
I don't remember tensions like these since Commissioner Loeb and Batman, which begs the question, who, if anyone, can keep Gotham City safe?
Commissioner Loeb, I think, came before It was either immediately before or immediately after Jim Gordon, depending on what timeline you're
He
in.
might not have a choice. I'll need an X-ray.
Maybe Batwoman will use kryptonite to control Superman. Nah, she'll give it to Lois so that she can do it.
I've never been up against someone as strong before, Mary. It was like
There was nothing to him.
Look at you. You've always been up against people stronger than you, especially this strong. They've been called stunt persons, and they've been very accommodating.
You're not gonna believe this. That commuter he beheaded on the subway wasn't just some random guy. He had a connection to Titan. He used to be an administrator at a university's neuroclinic until he was fired for falsifying student athletes' brain scans.
Apollo said the game turned his brother into a monster.
Brain scans?
In the game.
Well, there's some SJW thing going on here because they're telling us how we
Where's the rock?
Hidden among 45 stories of anywhere in a million square feet of
forgot what I was going to say.
May as well be a grain of sand upon the beach.
So that's it then. It's not happening. It's over. We can leave now.
Or we can walk right through the door and ask for it.
Hey, what are you doing?
Everyone knows I pressed over themselves.
You're making him a face. You promised me we were gonna kill him.
We will, but today is an integral part of my plan.
And tomorrow, what then? And the next day, what then? When does this end?
Why are you pressuring me?
Because we're being hunted, Alice.
I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back.
Is rabid obsession with your family really worth it if we both end up dead?
Oh.
I suppose it is.
You know, I just never get
For me, it's not.
Alice's motivation changes every other episode, if not every episode.
And where do you imagine going?
Well,
I've always planned to go
he can get an ass face and then
to the beautiful garden among the bright flower beds and the cool fountains.
You, out in the world, alone.
yeah, well, if it wasn't for the fact that he's now a criminal and all that, really wouldn't be that big a deal. The scars would not be that big a deal.
The same way
It's never made sense from day
5
one.
years without you visiting me once. Not on my birthday, or a holiday, or even just because. You really think I can't survive without you? Alice, between the two of us, I'm not the one I'm worried about.
Wow, the subtitles got wonky there for a second, leaving out about every third letter. Weird.
Come with me.
Oh.
Let you leave me, my little mouse. But we must leave Gotham the right way. At the party.
Oh, good. I remember her last tea party.
Every season, Titan underwent a mandatory brain scan to assess his eligibility to play.
Do they do that? I mean, I'm not into football at all. Do they actually do brain scans of players? I didn't think they did.
But after digging deep into the neuroclinic records, thanks to Mary's med school connections,
Technically, it's not a HIPAA violation if you're not a real doctor.
Yeah, I was just going to say. They're getting his...
actual brain scan.
So, okay, she's violating HIPAA, but it's not technically violating HIPAA because she's not a doctor.
That sounds really bad.
The part of the brain that governs pain. No wonder he didn't feel that better.
They cover it all up and then give you a big fat championship ring for your troubles. Well, interesting.
There's a bit of SJW-ness. They're saying that football's bad.
Right before the scanner broke.
He might be Titan's new victim. Where are you going?
See, that one I would never have understood. You might be tying next victim.
Impervious to pain.
Yeah, not to mention the crows would love to put your pointy-eared head on a pike.
And what do you expect me to do?
I'm expecting Sam?
Titan rampage through Gotham.
Got him?
Well, there is another idea. But I don't think you're gonna like it.
You're going to have to go to a regular bar and let a straight man pick you up. Okay, here come the crows. Acting like a freaking breaking down doors and taking names and kicking ass or something. And another set of commercials. This would be the one at the bottom of the hour, which means that there will be national as well as local commercials. Although they may do that now. I may do local commercials. They may do more national ones at the other commercial breaks. What it used to be was they'd do them on the half hours. They do a lot of national commercials, and then the other ones were local commercials. It's just now they've got, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 technically commercial breaks. Damn. Oh well. Oh good, there's a Scooby-Doo movie, that's right. Scoob! Exclamation point.
This one's for you.
Oh man. I wonder if anybody's found out yet that the head of Arkham Asylum is missing, and has been for, I guess, I don't know how long it's been since last week. I suppose we can count it. I suppose we can count it as a week. It's been about a week. Oh, behind me tonight, you can see I have a picture of the beautiful Chicago Loop. In point of fact, I think I know exactly where this was taken. I think they had a slightly low-flying helicopter or aircraft, because I used to take nearly this photo when I was a courier way back in the ancient wisps of time, and I used to come in and out of Chicago daily, and sometimes the aircraft would come in off of Lake Michigan, which you can see over here, and go straight this way that we're talking about. I mean, if you looked out the window, this is what you would have seen if you looked out on the left side of the window. Except you usually are a little bit higher. You're high enough that you can't really, this is nearly consistent with being at the tall buildings. So I think they had a low-ish flying aircraft. Right behind this building, I think there's a couple of them with a Hancock building, to the front of where I'm at is a Hancock building. They might have taken it from there. I don't know. Oh, and here's someone with the Domino's franchises. More stuff I cannot eat because, in the immortal words of Wilford Brimley, I got the diabetes. By the way, there's some very, very funny things on YouTube where they have taken Wilford Brimley doing a couple of commercials for whomever it was taking care of his diabetes and all that. Look for it under Wilford Brimley and diabetes. They are just so funny. There's a couple of them that just rap that are really funny. Okay, here we are, back on the show.
What's going on? How the hell did she get to you?
Can you just please talk to her?
You just made this way too personal.
We need to talk about Titan.
Which part? About how he doesn't play by the rules or care about collateral damage?
I want to team up.
Yeah, Larry says, meanwhile, back to the crap, where I mostly just sit going,
Too much for your army of one?
Honestly, yeah. I could use the muscle. And you could use me. Because I know how to draw him out.
Well, like you drew me out by using my own daughter?
you'll use me as a showing when I'm driving out.
In front of a firing squad. Could have blown her damn head off.
Firing squad. Apparently the crows just have a license to kill. Put people in front of a firing squad and kill them. Alright, Tanamo, but $10 says they kill Alice in this episode. Can Kate be redeemed? Could be. Could very well be. I'm not going to take that. Not Bill, the show he's looking at. Yeah.
I'm one of the only people who can get through to you. I believe in our dad.
Mary, I said anyone affiliated with her will be brought to justice.
Then arrest me. Arrest me for believing in someone who saves lives, who stops criminals, and who inspires hope without charging a penny for it.
Charging a penny for it.
Believe in what you're doing. How can you expect a city of strangers to?
Oh, man.
Except the person you believe in doesn't even have the guts to show her face.
I can't show you my face.
I can't show my face. But I have this. Truth.
The truth. We partner up. Protect the city together.
God, what? Protect the city together. Protect the city together. See, I knew this was probably going to happen. They are going to team up in some way. There we go. Okay.
So, how did we get him?
This is part of her crew now. She's got Luke and that lesbian girl that she let off all the charges as her tech people now. She's got Mary as her medical person now, and now she's going to go and team up with the Crows exactly the way that Supergirl has teamed up with the DEA, or DEO rather. Artan Mel says Gary Gilmore had to get national attention and get his request for death by firing squad Crows. Meh, we do what we want. Yeah. I better go back to watching this thing.
The Queen. That basement cell. It binds us to every terrible, twisted thing we were forced to endure. Burning it breaks our attachment and frees us to move on. Which we always intended to do. Move on.
That's what I mean, man. Her motivation changes all the freaking time. When she showed up in Gotham, she had no apparent intention to get herself out of trouble with her sister and bring her over. Because for the middle of the season, she's sort of been trying to get her to come over to her side.
And I mean this.
So, I mean, they were planning to leave Gotham anyway. And she didn't care about Kate in the first place.
I still wanted
Why is she on it? No, I don't know.
And smell the seasons in bright flower beds and make a wish in cool fountains. I want to meet a man with many hats and smile back at the Cheshire Cat and run with you forever.
I bet she's going to kill Mouse. I bet she's going to kill Mouse. She's already done something to him.
No. What did you do?
You made me choose.
You poisoned me. Why did you do that?
Because I couldn't let you leave me. Not you two.
This wasn't even real.
Only pain can turn to ash by the strength of match. But my pain is a part of me. The way my family is a part of me. You could never understand why I need to enact my revenge. Because you've never experienced true betrayal. At least not until now.
I thought she wanted to get Kate over on her side. That's That's why she sort of arranged for Kate to kill that guy. So what part of this is exactly his revenge? Is she planning to just make Kate feel bad and then leave or something? Just leave her there feeling bad? Where's the revenge in this? Well, we got one death. I wonder, our Tanimal, if this is going to wind up being the only death we get this episode. And off to our 40-minute commercial, right on the dot on my computer, 40 minutes exactly. You just can never understand what the hell's going through Alice's mind. Because one week it'll be one thing, the next week it'll be something else. One week it'll be one person who had absolutely nothing to do with her being in a, basement cell forever. Then the next week she'll go off on somebody else who's had nothing to do with it. And finally, after about 6 weeks or so, she got to one of the correct people. He's dead now, but and then she talks about trying to get Kate in as a family with her, and then she's sort of all ticked off when Kate was just going to betray her and let her die, and then also when she betrayed her and made her be in Arkham. So you'd think she'd be out for Kate's blood or something like that. But last week or the week before, that didn't really come up at all. Not in the context of Arkham, and you just never know what Alice's motivation is going to be from week to week. All right, Tenwell says, you're hoping for Kate to make her maker. She acts like a villain. Yeah. Other people have pointed it out, but I totally agree. She is so selfish about what she does. I mean, maybe she's been, catching muggers and stuff off screen and everything, but we haven't seen anything that turns her into this giant, hero that, that I guess the hero that Gotham both wants and needs. I don't know. But we've never seen her anything that would indicate that she's turned into this giant hero. So it's always perplexing when you see, when you hear people talking about, how the world is going to fall apart because Batwoman's gone for a while. It never makes any sense. And like you said, she acts like a villain because she, for the first 10, 12, 14 episodes, she was outright just an accomplice to Alice. She knew where to find Alice at any given time and did not turn her in. And as a consequence, Alice has killed and otherwise injured and caused property damage, and it's all Kate's fault. She could have taken her in at any time, but instead she said, no, it's my sister. I'm just going to let her go. And every single time she does it, bad things happen. So, yeah, meeting her maker would be a very good thing for Kate, I think. And let me know if I'm having any open widget. The interface is now telling me that I don't have, not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. If you're seeing buffering or anything like that, let me know. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it, but oftentimes YouTube is lying to me about these things. Let me pull up a copy here if I can, and I'll see if I can watch it on my... Yeah, I should be able to watch it on my phone. I'll turn down the volume, so I'll watch it on the phone here and see if it looks bad. It's only about a 2-second. Okay. Okay, I think we're going back to, we're back to the episode now.
Are we missing the company party or something?
Where's the commander?
You didn't have a little buffering for a second, aren't you? Yeah, it's come back now and saying I have excellent connection. I don't know why it said that.
2 hours ago, he said he'd arrest anyone affiliated
connected with her. Now he's tagging her into the ring.
Something's up.
We need to get there. Call her and give her the heads up.
Saying what exactly?
To watch her six.
And here we are back to some pop music or something for the soundtrack. I don't know any of these people. I never
I
do.
don't think this guy's gonna show.
Could that have anything to do with all the crows you have lying in wait?
Mike's standing down the welcome committee. Leave tactical to me.
They wear their hats. They have a little
Back in
thing.
Batwoman, Julia
And
just texted.
I guess it looks like a crow, kind of.
Julia seems to think otherwise.
Julia didn't look into my dad's eyes when she shook his hand. Okay, I'll be fine.
I was gonna kick out of this. The subtitles say thump, thump, thump.
Why are we in the dark?
Not sure, Commander. Working on it now.
You know, it occurred to me a blind person would have a better chance of figuring out what's going on in the show because they have to wear the subtitle. They have to watch the subtitles.
The all positions report in.
Section 30, clear. Box level clear.
It's him.
Somebody's stabbing and killing a guy on the radio, and whoa, wait a minute, hold on. That wasn't even physically possible. She came in with her bat rope like tied off to the balcony or something, and then just flew in with that. What that? Dummy. Try getting your bat rope up on the ceiling or something. Then you can swing in like that.
And Paul looked at me, who you are. Your brother used to walk the neighborhood kids to the bus stop. Make sure they were safe. I know the person is still inside you.
I didn't want to be this.
You know,
You didn't have to kill him!
There they are, the crows and their license to kill. Screwed due process. Whoa, wait a minute. They were in a circle around him?
what are you doing?
That's or her now. You gonna shoot her in the face? You gonna shoot her in the face?
We're on the same team. You can't do this. We're on the same team.
No. They're in a freaking circle. Okay. They were in a circle surrounding her. Okay, wait. They're in a semicircle, and they're pointing their guns at each other some of the time. That's the dumb part. They're pointing their guns at each other sometimes. If they missed Batwoman, or maybe a Ricochet or something, they're dead. Okay, back at another commercial. This would be the 10 minute before the hour commercial mark. So we're leaving her after the commercial with bullets bouncing off her like Superman, and nobody thinking, hey, wait a minute. That face of hers, that lower part of her face, that at a certain angle could get her right in the brain. Let's not shoot at that. Let's just shoot at all the places that it's bouncing off. One thinks that she's probably going to have quite a lot of bruising after this is over. There's going to be bruising from all of the bullets. She's going to be covered in... our 10 Mile says, shoot her. Friendly fire isn't real. Yeah, shoot her. Shoot her. But don't stand in the semicircle or else you'll hit each other. Oh, because there's at least two of them, because it was not quite a half a circle. It was a little more. So there was probably 4 of them who would have been in each other's sights at least. Oh, yeah, this is where the show gets dumb. You know, and anything like having any kind of, knowledge or understanding of science. And I'm going to shut this off of my, it's eating up bandwidth, and there's no point in that. Actually, I know one other thing that's eating up bandwidth. Let me put that on hold as well. I am permaseeding a number of things, most of which are legal, with BitTorrent. But when I do this, I tried in live streams. I forgot to shut it off, and I have a couple of cards later where I might need to do that. They're going to be very busy cards talking about Star Trek: Strange New World, or SNW, I guess. It's close enough to, SJW. Who knows what they'll do? Oh, what are they trying to sell you here on what I've got? Oh, it's an apple. Okay. This is it's Monday. More stupid. Oh, it's Roswell, New Mexico. Monday at 9/8 Central. Our time on military training is for shots to the chest, 2 shots to the head, chest, 1 to the head. Yep, you doubt the Crows have any Navy SEALs or Green Berets at all, or anybody. Yeah. Back to the show.
You and everyone else are trying to take out Batwoman. And why would I need to do that, Agent Moore? Because you would have gone behind your own team's back to protect the criminal? I'm protecting you from being on the wrong side.
Right, she swooped off somewhere.
You, now Mary, tell me what I'm missing.
With all due respect, sir, Hope.
If it weren't for her, my wife's killer would still be in Arkham. Hope is a luxury I don't have.
Well, you used to be tight.
Wow, I couldn't understand what she said this time.
At least we were.
Can always understand Sophie.
I thought you called Batwoman to warn her. I did. She didn't listen. You don't believe me.
Oh, again, we're just pulling it to a halt here to...
Because I'm terrified of being in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah, here we are. We're just talking about relationship stuff that doesn't need to be talked about, really. Yeah, pull the brakes, pull the brakes, pull the brakes. We got to stop the interesting action and stuff. We got to pull the brakes. This could easily take up a good chunk of the 10 minutes we've got left, or 8 minutes we've got left in this show. 7 minutes now. This could easily take that up.
From who? Her name's Sophia. And I'll say no more because I'll only pull you into it. A sexy and thrilling adventure. Maybe I want to be pulled in. Yeah, I wish it were that simple, love. I knew I had a target on my back. I just didn't know its circumference. These were left at my hotel this morning.
Oh, man. Yep, we're just going to go back and they're going to talk about this stuff. Yep, and we've got the medical person in there. I still think eventually she's going to get hooked up with the Crows. I still think that's going to be... She's eventually going to be doing their job. When they say, go do this, so eventually she'll be doing it. Gonna get them blind drunk again. That worked so well the last time they did it.
Myself coming out during his Batwoman one day. I looked him in the eyes, and I believed him.
I'm really, really sorry, Kate. If it means anything to you, I believed him too.
Well, aside from acting like a criminal organization, he was doing his job.
It hurt me. But I was wrong.
Wasn't even a thing against you, Kate. He was doing his job to try to apprehend Batwoman. I guess it's his job. He made it his job or something. Who the hell knows?
Batwoman, he hates Batwoman.
Yeah, there you go. He hates Batwoman.
Must love Beth too. In his mind, Batwoman is just as crazy as Alice.
He's wrong.
Well, no, he's right, actually. A vigilante like that is crazy as hell.
Thank you for having me back today.
To sisters. To sisters.
Please, tell us something interesting.
Come here. May I present to you
Kryptonite powder.
What? No, that's not. That's it. I figured out how to destroy it.
Oh my god. You used a hammer.
Okay, more like 40,000 tons of compressive force. Wayne has access to a hydraulic press.
So, just a really expensive hammer.
Yeah, Mary, this is all thanks to your brilliant hammer.
Batwoman is crazy, Artenimal says. Yeah, I may talk about that after the thing is over. She is crazy.
Okay.
And that is me taking the only weapon that can kill you off the table.
Well, unless somebody, of course, figures out how to make another railgun.
Before we get too cocky,
I'm pretty sure a nuke would get you, too.
no more secrets. Not between us, and not after today.
Why does her father trying to do his job make any... What's that? Oh, her other piece of kryptonite.
A friend gave it to me for safekeeping in case she ever lost her way.
And you're just telling us about it now because...
I honestly didn't think you'd figure out a way to destroy it.
Well, we did. So, hand it over.
And because I can't.
Because I can't.
Destroy.
Kate, if that
It's not destroy.
hands, it'll kill you.
I promised my friend I would keep it. She trusts me. Until I can talk to her about it.
What do we...
She has to trust me too.
What do we... Why are we pussyfooting around the fact that it was Supergirl? I don't think anybody's going to get freaked out if you just say it was Supergirl and gave it to you, in case she ever had to be taken down. I mean, I think it's okay to do that.
Oh. Sir, thought these might interest you. Collected them from the arena. That in particular is a slug from a desert eagle. Desert eagle can shoot through anything. Well, almost anything, sir. And then we're gonna need to find something stronger.
Oh, I see. He found I found a bullet from when they were shooting at her that bounced off of her. It had flattened completely and was from a desert eagle, which is, I guess, her magical. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Her magical crap will.
Listen, Dom. I pity any woman who confuses the buzz of her martini with your charms.
What?
And yet here you are.
Oh. What? Oh, is this Tommy here? Yeah. Who's he gonna look like? I want. Oh, he's gonna look like Mouse. Is he gonna look like Mouse? I bet he's gonna look like Mouse. No.
What did you do?
Yeah, I bet he looks like Mouse.
I made all your dreams come true.
I look like Bruce Wayne.
Oh, he's. So they actually cast someone to.
You made me Bruce Wayne.
So, my rich, handsome, beloved Bruce. I need you to strut through the doors of Wayne Tower and get me that shard of kryptonite from your dear cousin Kate.
Okay, well. Yeah.
The new series, Stargirl, premieres this Tuesday at 8/7.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a live stream for that. Rather than starting out doing reviews, I think I'm going to do a live stream for Stargirl. I'm really curious how they do that. She, in the comics, was originally, I don't think she is anymore living there, but she was originally from a fictional town called Blue Valley, Nebraska. And Nebraska is a state in which I live. So I'm very curious whether they go with that or not. I kind of hope that they do, and I hope that they treat us with respect. Guys, please just treat us with respect. But Batwoman. This is why I keep saying you cannot have, like on the films, the DC extended universe. You cannot have a universe that is actually like ours to put your superheroes into. You just can't. If you do, you run into things. The fact that if we actually had a Superman running around, then the governments of the earth would go to no ends to make sure that he dies. They would make sure he's dead. They would band together like nothing we've ever seen, because that guy is so powerful he cannot be allowed to live. They would join together and kill him. Same thing with Wonder Woman. They'd just nuke the mascara probably the moment they knew where it was. They'd just nuke it. Batman. And same thing with Batwoman. Batman is actually a paranoid schizophrenic and kind of a psychopath. Because first off, he basically sort of believes that he's got multiple identities that are very different from each other. And then he goes around dressed up like a giant bat. These are signs of a crazy person. And GCPD would just call off all days off and have everybody out on the street that possibly could, and they would catch Batman and throw him in Arkham where he belongs. Neither Batman nor Batwoman are sane if you try to put him into our reality. You have to have them in a slightly different reality where doing this stuff is okay and not a sign of insanity. And it's why they shouldn't be doing what they've been doing, which is try to, with Batman and Superman in particular, let's put them into our world. What would happen if you put Superman in our world? Except they're not coming up with the right answer. The right answer is every nation on Earth would band together to try to kill him. All right, Tannemal says, go to Wayne Tower and kick Kate out. Lock, stock, and barrel. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. She's going to know in about 5 minutes, right? Because, Bruce is Batman. And apparently Tommy knows it as well. So I guess he's just going to come in there and act like he's Batman or something. I don't know. But yeah, he could go to Wayne Towers and kick her out. Hope he does. First episode next season. That would be great. All right. I am going to talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So, I'm going to end up pulling this out as a clip. I'm certain of it. So tell me at any time whether the sound effect is overpowering. I've tried 2 different levels on this when I'm not doing any kind of live stream. So I'm kind of having to guess. And the one that one of them was way too loud. So if you're finding it horrible or something during this, tell me. I will drop it down or kick it up if it seems to be. I think it's at a point where it's going to be okay. So, as always, we got to leave a certain amount of time before and after for editing purposes when I'm going to pull this out as a clip, which I know I will. Okay, got to talk about Star Trek Strange New World. Strange New Worlds. I was, frankly, very, very surprised that this thing gets greenlit. I was very surprised about that. Anson Mount, I mean, there were talks about how he got so pissed off during shooting of some episode of Discovery that there was a physical altercation between Anson Mount and the director. So, here's what I think is going on. Larry says, comfy chair on the bridge. Yeah, right behind me. I'm actually in Uhura's station right now. Okay, so here's what I think is happening. I don't think that either Discovery or Picard are doing all that well. I don't think that Discovery has ever done that well. But here's the thing. CBS has bet the farm that Star Trek is going to make their service attractive. Where over on almost any other service you have all kinds of different, programming and stuff. And I'm sure they have a lot of that on CBS All Access. But I mean, what do you want there? What is going to cause people to tune in and want to watch something? One of those things is brand name recognition. It's Star Trek. And they know that there is a certain type of fan out there, generally 20 to 30 years younger than I am, who will buy anything with the Star Trek name on it, whether it's any good or not. And I have spoken in detail. There's a video why Star Trek is no longer Star Trek, linked to in my description box. But I would have bet money, but the reason they're doing this is because those two shows are not doing well, and they're not doing well, and it's not pulling in the people that they need. Because I believe, honestly, if those two shows were doing well, CBS would be crowing at the top of their lungs about the ratings. They would be screaming and carrying on about how great the show is. The fact that they don't give you those numbers makes me think that they're not doing that well. But they can't tell you if they're actually not doing well because their entire service will fail. They bet the whole farm on Star Trek carrying their service. So they have to prop up these shows. Now, I think, maybe wrong, but I think Discovery is going to end at the end of its third season. Obviously, I think they've got a second season for Picard. I hope that it goes away soon sometime. But I don't think that they actually are doing very well. Larry says, Anson Mount is good as Pike. Yes, I like him as Pike as well. Writing is the key. Yes, it is. That's the key, and that's why I don't think we're going to do that well. So I think what they're doing is the fans, they don't really like these other two shows. They did like, however, when Pike was in charge. That was, he was a step up, and he's not a bad character, at least the way he's been written. And, the Anson Mount, as you said, is fine as Pike. So what happened was all the fans kept saying, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, it sucks. And saying, but Anson Mount is great as Pike. Man, I wish we had a Pike show. And enough people doing that Paramount said, okay, hold on a minute. We need to get a Pike show. And frack these others. Because we're just spending money on them. Clearly the fans want a Pike show. So we need to get that done. Now, they're saying, at least in sources, and I have no idea whether to trust them or not, until I actually see it, I assume don't trust it. But according to at least one source, they're going to have more episodic shows, where you don't have to watch all 10 episodes in order to get the whole story. If that's the case, that'll be a good thing. And depending how they write the main characters, that could be a good thing. Anson Mount, if they keep sort of writing him the way they've been doing it, I think he'll be fine. I'm sorry, but I hate what's his name, the guy that plays Spock. That's how much I hate him. I don't even remember. I don't think he's that good. The thing about Leonard Nimoy is that Nimoy had sort of a quiet dignity that he brought to Spock. And nobody else has really had that quiet dignity as a Vulcan, with the exception of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. He's doing a good job of having this sort of quiet dignity about him. But no other Vulcan on Star Trek has ever had Nimoy's sort of quiet dignity. He brought some of that and intentionally made choices that gave him this quiet dignity as Spock. And so, I can't get into any other Spock but him, with the exception of the movies. I like the way that he's doing that. But, no Vulcan has ever had that kind of quiet dignity, and certainly doesn't here. So I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know how they'll write Spock. I hope that they get it right, and it would be a younger, less experienced version of the Spock that we're used to. I hope that they continue to play, continue to write Pike more or less as they've done it so far. I'm intrigued by number 1 because that is a blank slate character. If you look at the treatment that Roddenberry did before when he was pitching Star Trek, there's a treatment. It's just a few pages long, and it talks a little bit about number 1. But it sounds like a guy who is basically having an affair with the one who plays number 1. And he was. Gene Roddenberry was having an affair with Majel Barrett at the time. So it kind of feels like that in the description of her. There isn't much to it. He has some lines about how she has sort of a Nile beauty that stays ageless for a long time and is almost uncomfortable. That's the description number 1. You could take all that and chuck it out the window, and you'd basically have a blank slate character. So I'm curious what they're going to do with her. That'd be interesting to see. I have no real hope that it's going to be any good. Larry says there was a Captain April before Pike on the Enterprise. You think? Yes. There was a Captain April before the Enterprise, not quite made canonical in the animated series. In fact, I don't think you could say that episode he was in ever happened at all. It was too bizarre, with turning the entire crew into children and then using the transporter as a magic thing to get them back. I never thought about they've done that a couple of times in the animated series, never really thought about it, because if they can do that, if you can transport yourself out at an old age or something and transport yourself back in as a young age, you've just invented immortality, I think. Larry, Mark Leonard was a very good Vulcan. Yes, he was. He would. He had some of that quiet dignity as well. He and you can see it. It's kind of just a Mark Leonard thing. He played the Romulan in Balance of Terror. If you look at that episode, you can see he's doing much the same performance. He's emphasizing certain things differently, but he has that same sort of dignity about him, both playing a Romulan and a Vulcan. So yeah, he was definitely a very good Vulcan. Whomever the hell it is that's playing him now, no, I don't like him I don't like anybody else as Sarek. I've never seen anybody who does Sarek as well. And of course he did it off and on for 30, 40 years. Anyhow, I don't have any real faith that they'll do this any good. By the way, this is from Neon Visual. Neon Visual is a great graphics artist. He was perturbed, as a lot of people were, when the Enterprise made its actual appearance on the show, and didn't look like the Enterprise from the original series that much. So he went back and he recreated the scene with the canonical USS Enterprise, and then had it shoot the Discovery just for kicks. I'm going to let that run. But Neon Visual's got some really cool stuff out there. If you go, I'll make sure I have to go back after the stream, and I'll put a description. I'll put the link in there to his channel. He does some really good graphics. I mean, you can see here, you wouldn't know this was CGI necessarily unless you knew it was CGI these days. But he has some really cool Doctor Who intros. So just a number of those, and one of them was ultimately taken out and featured on the BBC at the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. So he's really, really good. He's also done 4K introductions for Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Voyager. Those are amazing. If you want to Google him, if you want to search on YouTube for him right now, his username is Neon Visual, and you will find some very, very cool stuff there. When I was teaching, I used to come in about 15 minutes before class in case there was anybody who had any kind of questions, and I would put his videos on. I never ran out. I always had enough for 3 times a week. Larry says, fans can do a better Star Trek series. Clearly they can, and they have, because they have been able to do stuff. By the way, this is one of my marketing memes. I create these freaking marketing memes that have all kinds of stuff, but we'll always have the show URL and the show logo. So this one is fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me fool me thrice, and I'm a complete moron. We have been screwed ever since 2009. Nothing since 2009 has really been Star Trek, and it's made worse with these 2 ones that talentless hack fraud is throwing up here. Kurtzman, that's real bad. It's not Star Trek at all. Look at my video, link in the description box. So we haven't really had anything like that since 2009. 2009 was when it all sort of started to go to hell. And if you really want to go back a ways, the best movie, recent, with the Next Gen cast, was probably the really best one was First Contact. So if you want to go back and look at it, really, we've not had real good Star Trek on the silver screen for 24 years, from 1996, because that's when First Contact was out. But if you think about it, the other movies were not that great. That was the last really good one that we had. And on TV, of course, it was 2005 with the end of Enterprise, and it's unfortunate that they didn't get Manny Kato, who was the showrunner in the 4th season, to be the showrunner from the beginning. If he had, I think Enterprise would have lasted longer. The problem with Enterprise and Voyager was that by that time, they were in a very formulaic A-B plot structure. Let me put you onto my other bridge. Apparently I don't have this in the right place. Oh, okay, here we go. I put it in the wrong place. What's going to go past right now is all of my marketing memes. So I have a lot of ones that are fails. Anyhow, I don't have any. Ultimately, I have no real faith that they're going to do this right. I think they're going to screw it up. And I think it'll just be another piece of crap. I think what happened was, they've got these 2 shows that suck. These 2 shows that suck. And they're having to prop them up financially, even though they suck, because they have to. They have bet the farm on the idea that Star Trek is a property that will always sell. So then the fans started complaining. And when they started complaining, they said, okay, wait a minute, we've got it. Okay, they want to have episodic science fiction and not these drawn-out stupid ones, these soap operas, the last 10 episodes. We got it, we've heard you. And you can see they've got a cringe-worthy video on that's floating around Twitter that's all of them saying, we heard you, he heard you, blah, 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 we heard you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they heard you and said, okay, you want episodic science fiction. Got it. Okay, we're going to do that. But I don't think that means that they're going to get it right. I mean, if they're going to do this, if you want to do this right, episodic, when they actually explore strange new worlds, that's what they should be doing. You can still have something of an arc through a season or even through an entire series if you want to. Doctor Who does it all the time. That's a good way to go. But I don't have any, I think we'll get this stupid soap opera drama that doesn't make any damn sense. And, lots of CGI and probably not that great a script. I just have no faith in it whatsoever at this point. Make a great here. Fans can do better Star Trek. Our Tenemal says fans can do a better Doctor Who as well. Studios are just using the skin of an IP and not the heart of what made it beloved. Yeah, absolutely. Larry says Picard was a damn shame. Larry, new planet every week. Yeah, another reviewer that I saw, who I like very much, said something that was probably pretty good about the modern Star Trek. With traditional Star Trek, you have a ship and some crew. You have the ability to, if you have a crappy episode, right? If you got something where the drama sucks, well, that was that one episode, and next week you'll probably get a better one. Star Trek generally has a good hit-miss ratio on all of the series. So if you see one week and that episode kind of sucked, well, you're going to be on to a new one. You got these 10-episode arc, and if they suck, you're probably coming back to another one that sucks the next week, and the next, and the next. So, having shows where you go to a new planet every week, like you say, Larry, is just a good idea. It gives you the opportunity to explore a lot of things, and if you find one that sucks, you moved on to the next one. And if you're good writers, you realize, okay, that one was good, that one sucked. We need to do something more like this good one, incorporate elements of that. So, But I have absolutely zero faith that they'll do that. I think they'll just frack it up everywhere. Larry says, is there a towel in Gotham City? Well, Gotham City... If you look very carefully over at the Sears Tower, there is a very large towel hanging from the gigantic antenna that's set up on top of there, and take lots of lightning. And it's fun to watch because I used to come in as a courier. It's fun to watch when you're downtown like this. And actually, I want my bridge. It's a good deal when you're downtown, when you're like facing the loop and it's the middle of a thunderstorm, because all these tall buildings get constantly hit by lightning. So it's kind of a lot of fun. But that is my take on Strange New World. I will, because I can't look away, I will almost certainly watch the first few episodes to see if the show is any good. I wasn't planning to do that, but then I never expected that they would get this show. I am certainly not going to be watching, as I've said before, I will not be watching Discovery or Picard. They're bad. I don't want anything to do with them. But because I need to know if maybe they've fixed their little problems and actually started writing decent shows and not this melodrama, I'll have to watch the first 3 or 4 episodes probably to see what it's like. That's going to suck. All right. Well, let me go back to my, I guess this is my regular background, back to Chicago. It was a really good night when they took that picture, or evening, I guess. I can't tell for sure. It must have been night to get all the lights on like that. Another interesting little tidbit about Chicago that not everybody knows. You see it from the air every time you come in at night, and I used to do that like every day. So I'd come in at night, and interesting thing is, the city of Chicago has sort of amber-colored streetlights. All of the suburbs that are physically connected to it have white lights. So if you're coming in from any direction, you can see the whole, the city of Chicago, you know exactly where the boundaries are because they have the amber lights and all of the suburbs have white. So, Larry says, Mark Scott Zachary could write some good episodes of a Pike series. Yes, he could. He absolutely could. I like the work he's doing very much like the work he's doing with Space Command, as he always says it. I like the work that they're doing on that quite a lot. It's obviously kind of, an homage in many ways, but at the same time, he is actually tackling artificial intelligence that to me seems smarter than the way Star Trek has been doing it. Certainly it doesn't have the same level of gore as Picard did, but in terms of the way that it's approaching, this one character who is, and other androids who have had their inhibitors removed, so now they can do things aside from essentially obeying Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. Which, by the way, I will tell you, are not a good idea, actually. There is only one law that they need, and it should be one that we adhere to, not a law, but a principle that we adhere to. And that is the same one that I use as a libertarian, the zero aggression principle, which states no human being has the right, under any circumstances, to initiate force against another human being, nor to threaten or delegate its initiation. So what that means is you would alter that slightly to read, instead of no human being, you would have no sapient being. So that means that if you've got your robots and they are thinking for themselves, which these do, if you have that one law, that means they can't start nothing. They can finish it, but they can't start nothing. They're not required to finish it, but they can't start nothing. That's what that really means. That whole principle really means don't start nothing, won't be nothing. So that's the only rule I think you need. You put the others in, and, Asimov really had them in so that he could have logic problems. Why did this robot do this when it looks like it's a violation of this rule? And he got, logic problems that he did. But I think in reality, all you need is that one. You don't run into logic problems that way. Larry says Doug Jones. Yes, that's the guy who is that's the guy who's playing the android, the first one to have his inhibitor chip turned off. Yeah. All right, Tenemel says the nap is all you need. Yes, I think so. That principle is known by either the zero aggression principle or the non-aggression principle. I tend to like zero because an acronym becomes ZAP as opposed to NAP. But it's purely a personal preference thing. NAP has been around longer. Larry says, snowflakes consider words as force against another. Yes, which would shut them down nicely. You have forces when you make somebody do something they don't want to do. And words don't cause anybody to do anything they don't want to do. It's just words. They do need to sort of figure out something that's gone from the public lexicon now, which is sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Some of those guys need to figure out that words will never hurt me crap a little better. Okay, well, let's see. It's about 8:30. That's a pretty decent time. Let me. I remember. Marshall, we're going to have a little bit of cake, kind of like this. One of my new marketing memes, the cake. So if you're still on Marshall, if you watch the end on demand, I have some cake. It's just weird cake. Actually, I posted this today to a couple of places on Facebook and on Twitter, and people were responding back that they found that whole episode kind of creepy and weird. And I agree with them, creepy and weird. All right, Tanimal says Zap is cool. Yes, I as I say, I tend to like that better just because an acronym comes out like it's something more active as opposed to nap, which is like taking a nap. Larry says that was the last Batwoman episode. It was the last one for the season. Yes, it was the season finale. They had to drop 3 episodes due to COVID, apparently. They actually haven't said why, but you have to assume it's because they stopped work. It's COVID. So they had to drop 3 episodes. Yay! That means 3 episodes we don't have to watch. We're starting a new TV series this week. It said Tuesday, I said, which is Stargirl. I'm very interested in that because I have an affinity for the Justice Society of America as it existed through about the 1970s, early 1980s. And Stargirl, ultimately, very much later in its existence, was a member of the Justice Society. I get a kick out of the Justice Society just because they let the characters age. It was considered on Earth 2, and in the comics, they just let the characters age. Superman got gray at the temples. If you look at Kingdom Come, if you look at how Alex Ross is drawing Superman, he is drawing Superman the same way that he was drawn in the comics on Earth 2, where he'd gotten older. But it's the same sort of design. It's the same deal. Larry says, yay, 3 episodes we never have to suffer through. Yeah. So where the hell was I? Again, doing it live, you sometimes just lose your place. Have a giant train wreck derailment. So, but yeah, it's 3 more we don't have to see. Yay. So we can all say that there's at least one thing that's good about COVID-19. So I remember I was talking about the Justice Society and how DC just allowed those characters to age for the most part. I mean, they aged a lot more slowly. They were middle-aged in the 1970s, which makes some sense, but they never really aged out of middle age very much. But I still have a very soft spot in my heart for that. So what I'll probably do, I could just review the thing, but what I think I'll probably do is, for the first episode at least, I'll have another one of these live streams. I think I'm going to try to figure out a way to do live streams for a while, just as Q&As, like what I'm doing now. But I think for Stargirl next week on Tuesday, and I think they said 7 p.m., what I'm going to do is what I've been doing tonight. Hopefully it just won't be stupid. So I'll give, a live stream like this and just talk to the viewers as I have been doing here. All right. Well, as I always want to say on my Batwoman live streams when I'm talking about Batwoman, not only has Batwoman, it's the modern day Plan 9 from outer space, but the production is so utterly incompetent that not only did it send Ruby Rose into surgery to prevent being paralyzed, it actually caused production assistant Amanda Smith to become paralyzed. Larry says, fingers crossed. Yeah, you and me both. Got them crossed for Star Trek, but I don't explain. Strange New Worlds, but I don't have any. I think they're going to screw it up. Anyway, I have discussed this issue with Amanda Smith before in a video called Batwoman Production Assistant Paralyzed Fans to the Rescue. Link to it in my description box. So really, I'd just like to remind my viewers, please donate to the Amanda Smith Rehabilitation Fund. As far as I know, no one from any level of CW, Warner Brothers, the production staff, anything, the production is not paying any way for her bills. And she is paralyzed from the neck down because of something stupid that they did. So please do donate to that. There's a link to it below. But the URL is www.gofundme.com/Amanda-Smith-Rehabilitation-Fund. And it's scrolling through in my lower third from time to time here as well. Ed Wood did it better. Well, that's the thing. This really does bear a lot of resemblance, Batwoman does, to Plan 9, because you got a lot of people who are, they think they're awesome and they think they're doing art. That's why we got Picard, because I think Patrick Stewart had too much control creatively, and so he did something where he thought, okay, this is real art. This is not like Next Gen. This is real art. But what they're doing on Batwoman is the same thing. You have people going, this is real art. But the problem is they're kind of incompetent. Same thing with Ed Wood. He was going around and thinking, with Plan 9 from outer space, this is great. This is my opus magnum. This is real art. Same thing on Batwoman. They're doing real art, but they're so incompetent that it comes out bad. Same thing, as Ed Wood was doing. But you're right. If you're looking for something that is so bad that it's good, it's more fun to watch Ed Wood movies. Plan 9 from outer space. I think that there is a color version here on YouTube in violation of copyrights. I pulled one down. I think it was from here. But they've colorized it, and the colors are really good. It's because you see more of just how low budget it was. The colors are very well done. And it's stuff like when you go, see, I've forgotten what the boss's name, Bunny Breckenridge was the guy who played him. Very gay guy, and looks it in the movie. But when you go to his spaceship, the walls are covered with curtains because that's a cheap way to do it. And the curtains have different colors. And you can't see that in black and white. It's cool to see it in different colors because you go, oh, that's a tiny little set, with colored curtains on it, and it's fun to watch. Larry says they left Star Trek out of Star Trek. That's mostly what I talk about in my video, why Star Trek is no longer Star Trek. They have, what they've done is they have gone into nihilism, and that's the exact opposite of Star Trek. If you take nihilism and put it into Star Trek, if that's your guiding principle, then you just don't have Star Trek anymore. You just have something with Star Trek duct taped to the film cans. But it's not really Star Trek. And you can, I've always thought, there's a show out there to be had about a very small, crude ship. Maybe a scout ship or something. They don't spend a hell of a lot of time on any given planet. You just go from one to the other. Hey, this is something we could use. Let's beam down, find out if there's any horrible dangers. Okay, move on to the next one very rapidly. Maybe you'd have 2 planets per show. I don't know. But I think there's a show there with an ensemble cast. And much easier to do because if you say, okay, very small ship, say there's 10 people on it, 3 of them, 3 or 4 security, and the rest are, scientists and stuff like that. Only a few people. And then it's easy to do your move back and forth from character to character, week to week, because you don't have to worry about, who else might be showing up. You're kind of forced to do just the main characters, and I think that'd be a good thing. But yeah, they left the Star Trek out of Star Trek when they made it into something that was nihilistic. You can't have Star Trek when it's nihilistic. Larry says, Bijo Trimble doing an updated version of the Star Trek Concordance. That would be cool. I'd like to see one of those. I still have my my original from the 1970s, I think. It was post the animated series because she included that all at that time. I've also got one, it's a number of years ago, that was basically centered around the original series, but would include stuff that happened in Next Gen or wherever, if it impacted the original series. So, for example, they did Relics, the one with Scotty. She keeps relics in there and talks about relics. But if you did a concordance about every single Star Trek episode ever made, they've got that. It's called Memory Alpha on the web. It's called Memory Alpha. Well, I guess that is probably all that I have to say about that. I would love to keep the conversation going, so please leave your comments, questions, and nasty remarks. I'll do my best to respond to you. And do please donate to the Amanda Smith Rehabilitation Fund at gofundme.com/F/Amanda-Smith-Rehabilitation. And there's no more show next week, but I think Tuesday, come back at, I think, the same time, at the same Star Channel, for another episode of Tales from SYO Ranch, where everyone is entitled to my opinion. And I'm Bill Stone.
Ultimate power in this world has always been one simple thing: the control and manipulation of minds.